Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to the studio, my people. It is Jason Gooner, and we're back here to discuss EPL Week 12. This is the review show. You don't know, each and every week when we can, we come out with the preview and the review show for all the EPL matches. So we are here again, week 12. We did miss a week. We had some things going on with the family, but we are back in full effect. We have the score predictions, results ready to go. So we have the scoring, we have the champion to give out tonight, and we also have the dreaded donkey of the week for the worst picks of the week. So we're going to get all of that going tonight in the show. And of course, we're going to break down each and every game the proper way, talk about all the big calls, big decisions, talk about the goals, talk about which coach needs to get fired because they're doing foolishness. And yeah, as is customary, when we start the show out, we like to get the chance to big up the people in the comment section and also ask a very pertinent question. If your side got 3 points this weekend, let me see you put a big 3 in the comment section. So I'll start us off. A big dirty 3 in the comment section from Jason Gooner TV because Arsenal picked up the 3 points this week, people. Yeah, man. Make sure to drop your threes in the comment section if your side did pick up 3 points. If your side picked up 3 points, make sure that you drop it in the comment section. I also have a poll running where they're watching it in the landscape mode or the portrait mode. And that poll is just asking, what was your match of the week? So I have 4 options: Chelsea, Burnley, Liverpool, Forest, Newcastle City, and Arsenal, Spurs. The Everton fans might be wondering why I didn't put the Everton Man U game. Honestly, I picked the 4 that I had knowledge of the most and thought they were the better games. I thought Brentford was also really good. But I went for the name teams. Man U the only, I guess you'd say, name team that didn't make the poll this week. But I'm sure they'll be happy for that because their team did not get the desired result this week against Everton. That game happened today, which we're going to discuss in detail as we get into the show. But people, make sure we are on YouTube. The best way to support Jason Gooner TV while he's doing these shows is to smash that like button, locate the thumbs up button, whatever device you're watching on, click on it. Yeah, man, don't click it twice because you're going to take your like away. And you can also share the content as well. There's a little curved arrow looking thing that shares the content. So if you have any groups that discuss football regularly, definitely can tune them into this channel as well so they can be a part of the conversation. And of course, if you're brand new to the channel, please remember to find the subscribe button, click it as we try to get the channel to keep on growing. All right, people. So yeah, man, we are here to discuss each and every match of the EPL, and we are not going to waste time either. So let's get right into it. Of course, stick around later for the reveal of the champion of the week. And respect and thanks again to all those who sent their picks in. Book was full again this week, so thanks so much for making it. Giving me more work, which we don't mind because that means that the people are getting into it and staying in tune with it, and we love that. All right, so remember, people, if you just got into the channel or into the show, please put your threes in the comment section if your team did get 3 points tonight. That is a must. So I have my 3 in there. Let's see how many others join me with their threes in the comment section. So yeah, let's get right down to it, people. Let's get right down to it. Let's get right down to it. So we have bless up Joseph in the building. Big up yourself, my bro. Joseph drops his 3 in the comments as well. Big up yourself, Joseph. Your side got 3 points. So put the 3s in the building. Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Joseph. And thanks again for the support via the membership as well. Greatly appreciate that. All right. So let's get right to it, people. I like to work with SofaScore. I think they have the most in-depth statistics that I like to look through. So we are going to go straight there to get our statistical data up and running. All right. So Let me see how this is gonna look now. All right, so okay, so that's what it look like. Okay, cool, that can work. All right, so if you're watching on the mobile, trying to set it a way that would make it look a little bit bigger for you. I think either way would be fine. No, that's not as good. So let's go back to how we had it like this. All right, cool. Yeah, so this is what we're going to work with it. So 2-0 to Chelsea. They got the result at Turf Moor. This was the kickoff match of the weekend. Chelsea knew that winning this game would put them within 3 points of the league leaders. So they had a lot to play for in this game. They have a big week as well this week. I think they face Barcelona in the Champions League as well. So, and then they face Arsenal next week. So they knew a win here with Arsenal dropping points, and then a win next week, they could potentially be in a tie for first spot in the Premier League come next weekend. So they knew they had to get the job done, and they were able to do it 2-0. It was a drawn out, hard fought game. Burnley did have their spells. I thought Burnley started the game the better team. But once Chelsea got into their rhythm about the 15, 20, 25th minute or so, I thought they were basically in control of the game for the most part. Apart from a few little spells in the second half, I thought Chelsea really did dominate the game. This was the lineup Chelsea started out, and you could see that Maresca did have one eye to that game in midweek and the Arsenal game next week, because he went with Andre Santos to start the game. We did not see Caicedo besides on the bench. We know Lavia is out. So maybe his thinking was we need to make sure Caicedo is good for the next 2 games. Enzo was an injured out coming into the game, but he started and played the whole 90 minutes, so he's perfectly fine. And I saw on the back line as well, I was expecting to see Malo Gusto play, but Reece James got the nod, but he was off at halftime, and Badia Shield came on. So he was even kind of shielding Gusto as well. Could see him playing both of the fixtures coming up, as well as Moses Caicedo and Estevao, who he's really been turning to in the Champions League so far, and all other competitions. He's still there waiting in the wings to face Barcelona in the week. So Maresca, we saw last season with him navigating the Conference League the way he did. Didn't really overtax the players. Basically use his squad up in the midweek fixture, and he's been doing the same in the Champions League since that Bayern defeat. But I do think that he probably realizes Barcelona is not the game to be doing this changing too much of your first team players. So I think he definitely started this team and took a chance at Burnley with some of the, Andre Santos, his Jamie Gittins, the lap. I wouldn't say starting against Barcelona in midweek either. So, he definitely could have played some different players, but, besides, I would say Cucurella, Chalobah, João Pedro Neto, Enzo, those 5, plus Reece, who came off at halftime. I think those would be ones that you'd be looking to start against Barcelona as well. As for the others, Tosin, I could see dropping to the bench for the Barca game, even though he probably had his best game of the season this game. We'll see if that earns him another start. But I do think that Maresca, for a newer manager to a bigger club, has shown that he understands that rotation that needs to happen, because he did a good job doing it last year. And I was wondering if it was in the Champions League, would he still have that, would he still have that mindset to make all those changes? And he has really been doing that in the Champions League, to be honest. So I have to give him his credit for kind of just picking up on that early. You have to rotate the players for them to get through. So yeah, he only made 3 subs, and again, I could almost tell Barcelona right now, Estevao and Garnacho probably will start on the flanks in the next game. Pedro Neto, we know that's like his favorite player, so he might still start him, and it will just be one of Garnacho or Estevao starting. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised or shocked if Estevao Garnacho is what he goes with this week, and then on the weekend next week he goes back to the Neto and Gittins. But let's see. I'm just speculating. We'll learn more this week when we see who they play in the Champions League. But you don't know in the preview show next week when we're talking about the Chelsea Arsenal game. I'll be looking at who played the last two fixtures for both teams to try to get an idea of who might start against in that big fixture, another London derby next week. Burnley, they pretty much had the starting lineup that we thought they would start. All the players we thought, we said Foster might come back in for Fleming, but he didn't. And yeah, they pretty much had their starting lineup that they've been using. And yeah, they had a good start to the game, but I do think once Chelsea got the control, really there wasn't much that Burnley was able to do on the day. Can't remember Sanchez having to make any huge saves. He did have a one big chance in the game. And I'm pretty sure, I can't remember who that fell to. So I guess they're counting, I don't know what they're counting as a big chance. Maybe it was this Fleming chance. Yeah, that was, that wasn't the easiest chance in the world. So yeah, I'm not really sure what they're counting as the big chance, to be honest. But Chelsea did have two big chances, and that was the difference. They put both of them in the net. So great cross from Gittins for the netto goal, and then good work by Guiu to get down to the byline and cut it back for Enzo Fernandez to finish to make it 2-0. So good result for Chelsea, and to be fair to them, their form of late has been really good. When you look at Chelsea's recent games in the Prem, especially, that's what, three wins on the bounce. They lost to Sunderland at home. That was a tough loss for them, but they have a Forest win other than that as well. So Chelsea really doing their thing in the league right now. And like I said, when this game was over, they were right there behind Arsenal, 3 points behind. And we'll see if Arsenal was able to get the job done. We know they were, because we put the threes already. So you know what's happening, people. You know what I'm going to say. But yeah, Chelsea, they got the job done. Like I said, good control of the game. Again, another clean sheet for Chelsea. The much maligned defense that they have had. A lot of their fans and rival fans and pundits and alike are saying that maybe they didn't do enough in the transfer window with their defense, especially central defenders. But look, the structure of the defense is working. And if they can minimize the mistakes, errors leading to shots, errors leading to goals, I think that they actually do have a good defensive structure by the way they play. Now, like I said, the individuals might not be the best, but they are in a good structure, so that's helpful. And once Sanchez doesn't lose his head, give up a goal, Chalobah, Tosin, all these guys just don't make individual errors. Chelsea's defense, because of the structure of the team, is not bad at all, and it is showing in the rise in clean sheets and not giving up multiple goals in matches very often anymore. So yeah, 2-0 to Chelsea, big win, and they have a big week ahead now. Barcelona and Arsenal await them, so we'll see how they fare for this week. But Chelsea, kudos to them, man. They're playing some decent football, and like I said, if that defense can hold up, they do have a really, really formidable attack and midfield. So, I think everybody wants to kind of write off certain teams. At one point it was just going to be a 2-horse race. Then City started to do their thing. They said it was 3. But the way how this league is and all the parity, man, I'm telling you, like, there's going to be teams that stay in and around it, as long as not one team just runs away, and between the Chelseas, Man City, Liverpool, I know it doesn't look like it right now, but we've seen them reel off 5 wins in a row. Heck, Aston Villa was down in the relegation zone. Now they've won some games. They're up into, UEFA Champions League spot. So the parity in the league is very apparent. And like I said, if nobody don't run away with it, it's going to be a bunch of teams throughout the season, just based on how the results have been going, Bless up Game Birds. So I go on, my brother. 3 points. Game Birds get him 3 points. So big up DJ Gigs. Bless up yourself in the building. Don't know manners and respect, my G. I'm gonna take these off the screen. Probably blocking what's going on. All right. So the next game, people, Bournemouth and West Ham. And this one started out probably the opposite of what most of you guys thought. I did think that going into this game, West Ham was on the form of their season so far, and Bournemouth was on the worst form of the season. And I had a feeling that Semenyo might not play. He didn't, and anytime he doesn't play, Bournemouth is not nearly the same. Now, West Ham made it look like they were just going to dog walk the game after Callum Wilson scored his second in the 35th minute. The first goal, it must be said, Petrovic needs to do way better there. To me, it was a goalkeeping error more than a good shot. Should be keeping that one out from such a long distance. But the second goal, he can't be faulted for. And Callum Wilson basically showing the Bournemouth fans what they would have seen for years from him with a great turn, back to goal, swivel, and finish, all in like one motion as well. It was really, really good finishing by Callum Wilson. And they went into halftime with that 2-0 lead, even though Bournemouth came really close towards the end of the first half to equalizing. Eventually, they did get a penalty after a clumsy challenge by Kilman, called for handball after sliding on the ground, and basically, was going to get beat and just move the ball with his hand while sliding. That one was given. Tavernier blasted it in, and then in the 81st minute, Enes Unal, just recently back from injury, he got a brilliant pass from Senesi, breaking the lines into the box, and the turn and finish was exquisite to make it 2-2. And to be honest, Alphonse Areola, yes, he must have been the man of the match. This man was saving everything towards the end of that game. I think he had like 3 point blank saves in the last, after this goal went in to make it 2-2, he had like 3-4 point blank saves to keep it at 2-2. So Nuno not getting a loss, so 2 wins on the bounce and then a draw. So 7 points from 9, definitely their best spell of the season. And Bournemouth continue to wobble in terms of results, but to be totally honest, on the balance of play, I have to say Bournemouth probably deserve to get all 3 points, but you have to convert those chances, or else things like this will happen to you and you don't get all 3 points. But Alphonse Areola definitely earned his player of the match. I know it's just the match rating from SofaScore, but I'd be surprised if he didn't get the man of the match in the stadium as well. Let's take a look at the stats overall for the game, though. So you see the expected goals way ahead for Bournemouth, 4.05. So to only score 2 of those, definitely it wasn't just them not being clinical. It was just really good saves as well. And I'm talking like point blank, wicked saves, 4 big chances for them, none for West Ham. So the predatory instincts of Wilson really getting them on the score sheet twice. You see the disparity in shots, 28-5. 10 saves is what the keeper made. None on the day for Petrovic. Like I said, he should have saved the first goal for sure. Way more corners for Bournemouth as to be expected. 414 more passes attempted. My gosh. Did West Ham touch the ball in this game? You see the yellow cards and everything. Shots on target 10-2, so even a big margin there. They missed 2 of the big chances. Bournemouth, of course. I know West Ham not create a big chance. What was their XG? 0.65. The whole game played in West Ham defensive third, just about half the game. You see the touches in the opponent's box as well. My gosh, final third entries, I'm sure. A big gap in both. Yeah, 95-49. Jeez and peas, 95 injuries. Wow. Look at all those passes in the final third as well. So Bournemouth really and truly should have won this game. And you see the difference in goalkeeping. I mean, almost 2.5 goals prevented for my boy, the name Areola. And on the other flip side now, negative for the goals prevented for Petrovic. So that means he must sell out the goal them basically. But yeah, really good game though, entertaining. But like I said, Bournemouth will look back at this one as 2 points dropped, because even though they went down 2-0, they were so dominant in this game. Even in the first half, it was pretty much them dominating possession, but it was kind of even based on chances. But the second half, look at that, just a completely different story. And they really did deserve to get more than those 2 goals on the day. But at the end of the day, Areola had a blinder, and you have to give him his credit. So more points dropped for Bournemouth after the hot start to the season. and they keep sliding a little bit further down the table as the weeks go on. But they're still playing some good football, and they do have Semenya to come back. Before the international window, I was planning on commenting. Make sure you mention the 3 points thing that you always do, but man's didn't forward. Oh, yo, my bad, bro. Where say when you side with me never there. It's like a planting gigs. Bless up, Float. Hope all is well with you, my G. Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Float. As a matter of fact, Float, did you send me the pics and I never get them this week? Because I thought I checked all devices or all areas that might have it, I might have missed somebody, now that I'm thinking about it. Let me see. No, we're good. We're good, we're good, we're good. I thought you may have sent it in this, but it's not that. So we're good. Blessings Apache in the building. One Arsenal. Gun them gunners. That is it, Apache. Man, them can't chat to it a week, yeah, but North London Derby. Where Spurs are going, man? Expressions look like him want a ball. All right, Brighton and Brentford. Now, this was one of the better games of the week for sure. Didn't make my poll this week. I make sure you're seeing the poll and participating. And I really want to get your thoughts on what you think was the match of the week. But Brighton Brentford, for a game that wasn't on match of the week, it did have that type of action in it, right? So there's a lot of incidents. 2 penalties given for Brentford. Brighton, playing some really good football as usual, but also looking vulnerable on the break to Brentford, who make a lot of teams look like that on the break as well. And the storyline in this one was just a save from Verbruggen late in the game that could have equalized the game at 2-2, and Igor Thiago, who had been pretty much faultless for the last 5-6 weeks or whatever, finally had something that go his way when it was saved. And it's always difficult when you're a penalty taker to score twice from the penalty spot. And it's always that wonder, will the player go back to the same spot? And he went back to the well, but this time it was dry as Verbruggen read him and just said, listen, I think you're going to do the same thing. And he was totally right. He got that one spot on, and they secured the 3 points at the Amex. Looking at the stats for the game, you see the expected goals in favor of Brentford. They did play well. They had more big chances as well, but more shots went to Brighton in the game. You see the pass discrepancy. Brighton definitely, as expected, wanted to be the ones with the football, the protagonists on the day. And Brentford totally happy in their mid to low block. And they would just take advantage of counter-attack actions and set pieces, which they always would be able to do. You see the shots on target very even, 5-4. You see the big chances missed, and that's where Brentford really lost it. 2 big chances that they were unable to convert, and easily should have gotten at least a point out of this game. But one of those was the penalty, and they did have one in the run-up play as well that they missed. Final third entries 59-42 in favor of Brighton. And you see the aerial duels on the match day, dribbles as well, crosses, long passes. Yep. You see the goals prevented stat this time. It's Brentford, Kelleher, the one that is in the negative. You never want to see that. Almost a full goal prevented on the day by Verbruggen. So you could see where the goalkeepers do have a say in which team actually win the match based on how good they are in the game. But yeah, that's the full stats basically. You see the percentage, which we would expect from a team like Brighton against Brentford. You see Brighton starting lineup. The Kuiper looks to have lost his place to Kadioglu on that left side. Gomez, when he came off though, they just pushed Kadioglu, that Swiss Army knife player that he is, up onto that left flank, and they brought in the Kuiper to play left back. The front four has been pretty consistent of late. Gomez, Ruta, Welbeck, and Minte. And Minte again got 2 fantasy assists, 1 real life assist to Welbeck for the first goal, and that was quite a goal, I must say. What a pass from Minte and what a finish by Welbeck. And that came after Welbeck missed, I would say, 1 really clear chance and 2 like half chances basically. But he definitely finished off the hardest one, catching it with his left foot on the half volley and tucking it into right inside the post. Then Hinselwood came on off the bench after a long injury layoff, came back, I think, right before the break, but he came in this time and did get a goal, top of the box. Bit of a miss hit and a bit of fortune, but definitely that went to him being brave and trying the shot anyway. So he earned that luck that he got by trying. But yeah, after that, Brentford did a good job of staying in the game, trying very hard to get back in. And one shot that was pulled down from across by, I think it was, not sure which player pulled him down, but he was pulled down in the box. And when Igor Thiago stepped up, there was, most of us thought there was only one end result, a 2-all draw. But Verbruggen came up big. And like I said, Igor Thiago had already taken a penalty and literally did the same exact thing, routine down to where he placed the ball. And Verbruggen was ready this time to stop it. So that preserved that 3 points for Brighton. And it was a big 3 points for them because, like I said, this Premier League is so close. At any time you can get a 3 points on everybody else. You'd be surprised how far you might jump just from that 3 points. And of course, we'll look at the table before the show is over so you guys can see what is really going on there. I will always mention every time I see West Ham struggling that they did get a manager that win trophy, but the fans want to think they're a top 3 club. For real. Arsenal didn't get 3 points. It's a wonder if he did go, they're gonna say 1 point instead. No man, that week them would have say, yo, all who get them 3 points at 3, I'm gonna so that for quiet. No worry, man. Me not think every week from now till the end. And if I see the next time we drop points, you see if me not run out, then you can know it's a conspiracy I go on. Because I can't every time that happen, something I go on with my family. Okay, cool. But just want to make sure say I know me mess up float. So yeah. I hope everything good with the family and thing as well. So yeah, me just still want to make sure. Cause me know say me did see some other message the other day and I never think I did miss any, but I just still want to make sure. Right now we're selling players and find ways to play some good football and stay in the EPL. Yeah, man. Even the boy will give away the first penalty, Baliba. He might play a bag of foolishness this year, but I mean you can see the talent in the kids. So they probably sell him to soon because it look like he want to leave. I think he wanted to leave in the summer, but either the money never right or them just never want to do it so close to the end of the window or whatever the case is. But you're right, their scouting network is top notch, man. Them find players out of nowhere, then them wicked. You see them are playing, I said, damn, what them find over there? How them even find this baller? But Welbeck continues to score goals, man. How much goal the man gone in them last game there? Tuchel, I watch. So that 1, 2, 3. So him gone 5 in him last 5 Premier League games. And if you go back to the last 7, him gone 7 in him last 7 Premier League games. So this guy is not joking around with this thing this right now. And I play wicked this season, man. Trust me. And it's not just this season too. He's been good since last season. Really consistent since last season. And Igor Thiago finally showed that him human. Him never scored a second penalty. But yeah, like I said, it's tough, man. When you took a penalty already in the game, it's tough. Big up Martin. What go on, bro? Hope all is well, Darren. Yeah, man. Big up Darren Martin. Every time. Big up yourself. Chelsea playing mind games. Hope Barca pressure them. Big up Skull. What go on, my bro? Yo, may I have your name right down on the list, I'm gonna get no score, Skull. But you don't know next week again. Webb's a baller. He's on fire for Brighton. Yeah, man. Danny been a good baller, man. But this is the most consistent he ever been with the goal scoring. When you look on this season and last season so far. Yeah, man. Man, finishing gone to our next level. Movement in the box, wicked. Always was a good technical link-up player, but I always felt like it would drop down in the box for him. But in a more experienced stage of his career, man, figure it out, brother. Yeah, man, a wicked baller, man. Game Bird say if he use his skull. Hey, you can know when Skull there, them time there the banter truly start, man. All right, so the next game, people, before we get to the Liverpool Anfield game, Raul Jimenez, CONCACAF finest, getting a goal in the 84th minute, and that was enough to get a 1-0 result for Fulham in this game. Chukwueze played a delicious pass into Jimenez, and he was able to finish it. I don't know how Chukwueze don't start yet. Every time this man come on for Fulham, the man do something great. Sometimes he don't get the assist, him don't get the goal, whatever, but he looks so dangerous. I've been thinking for weeks now, like, why the man don't just start Chukwueze and done? Well, I think after this one, he probably get a start because it was so obvious how good the man was. I think he got the highest rating on the day, and it was for good reason. When I watched the full extended highlights of this, brother, I'm like, all Fulham clips is after a certain time of the game when this man come on. So he did his thing in this game. I thought the defense was good as well. You know, they did a good job of, limiting Sunderland for the most part, to scraps. When you look at the stats for the game and you see the expected goals at 0.17, that's like when you play Arsenal type of territory right there. That under 0.2, 0.25 for an entire game, no big chances, only 4 shots. And I don't think, they had 2 of them on target, but nothing really forced Leonard to go crazy with no save that I can really remember. Maybe I'm just not remembering right now, but don't remember any of these shots being so. That was a good save from this shot. That was a good save. So that probably was the toughest save. The Traore shot in the 39th minute. I did make a good save on that one. But other than that, Xhaka, that was a decent reaction, but should be saving that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Fulham got the 3 points. Sunderland was flying, and then they got the point against Arsenal, which, great point for them. And then, they were going into Fulham Craven Cottage, I'm sure, feeling confident. But yeah, they just didn't really create enough in the game. That's just the bottom line. They were not creative enough. They didn't make the set piece, long throw situations really tell. Fulham was really prepared for that, and they defended their box really well. That Bassi and Anderson were just tough to get through. And yeah, Fulham got the win 1-0. They don't really care how they get these wins. They just need wins. And after losing to Everton before the break, they have had a run of games that was really tough. 4 losses in a row. They are still in the EFL Cup when they beat Wickham on penalties. They beat Wolves and they lost to Everton, and now they're back from international break with a win versus Sunderland. So they Fulham definitely is a Jekyll and Hyde team, and they've been like that for a few years now. You don't know which one of them going to turn up. They usually play the top teams pretty well, but it's the teams around them, the teams below them in the table. You're just not really sure what kind of performance you're going to get. I don't know why they're so inconsistent, but they've always been like that. This game, I think only one person got the score correct, and that was Coach Edwards. But Coach Edwards missed out a lot of picks, so he couldn't get a chance to win this week. But he had a decent start. Kind of wish I could have got to see the rest of his picks because he might just have won. But yeah, not many of us went for this Fulham win, man. I think Duke had a Fulham win, and Pristine and BBK. Everybody else that played this week had either a draw or a win for Sunderland. So a lot of us were really wrong. I went for the draw as well. Yep. So Fulham, Sunderland. Not the game that you would want to rewatch. I don't think it was one of the more entertaining ones for the week. But Fulham 1, Sunderland 0. Is this a sign that Sunderland might be going back down to earth? Well, we just have to wait and see in the next coming weeks. Now, this game was definitely the shock of the weekend, I would think. Forest heading to Liverpool, new manager Sean Dyche, putting his stamp on this team now, and it showed in this Liverpool victory. Forest 3, Liverpool 0. So they did the double over them last year, but last year at Anfield, they were only able to win 1-0. Well, this time they tripled it and said, okay, we're going to drop 3 at your yard. Storylines here, you see the starting lineup. Isak, another game, another anonymous performance. Fans definitely at some point going to start to lose patience with this and the output that he's been giving them. But I just feel like this midfield, man, the Gravenbergs, McAllisters, these guys just aren't at the level that they were last season, and it's really hurting them. Kirkes did get the start this time over Robertson, did poorly. So by 68th minute, Robertson was on for him. Konate did come off in the 55th when the coach went a bit more attacking. But Isak only lasted, 68 minutes, very ineffective. And he did get the youngster on for Curtis Jones late as well. But it's all about Nottingham Forest. They only made 3 subs, one of which Omari Hutchinson was very influential in that third goal that was scored by Gibbs White. And Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ryan Yates, they came on late just to see out the victory. But Nico Williams, Murillo, Milenkovic, Savona, all 4 on that back line, plus the goalkeeper. Very good, because Liverpool did have some chances in the first half, especially. And it was just point blank blocks or wicked saves by Sells stopping them. 1 or 2 were miskicked or kicked wide and everything, but most of them was just, really solid defending and very solid goalkeeping. Sangare, Anderson, very effective in the pivot, and then when you add Gibbs White, adding that guile, energy level in that midfield, I think this was definitely a day where Nottingham Forest, if they didn't win the midfield battle, they definitely more than held their own. Endoy and Dominguez and Jesus starting as the 3 closest to goal. But Omari Hutchinson really looked sharp when he came on off that right hand side. Did have another chance in the box as well. Good quick feet shot. It was blocked though. But yeah, he's looking sharp. Maybe can get more minutes in this Premier League team. I think Dyche does realize that he has a player there. Now, Arne Slot, people, I have to talk about Arne Slot a little bit. Well, all right, first, before we talk about Arne Slot, I have to touch on the referees and this whole interfering with play offside thing. So, Murillo first goal, right? Dan Endoy was clearly blocking the man vision. Now, when the shot taken it going where it went in, it could have been nobody in the way and just a shot and goal with the keeper standing where he was standing, and no way he can save it. But at the end of the day, what I need to find out from these referees making these decisions is like, what is more important? Is it more important that like the offside rule was broken, or is it more important that the keeper wouldn't have a chance to save it anyway? Because to me, it doesn't really matter whether the keeper had a chance to save it, because that's not really in the wording of the rule. It doesn't say, oh, he's not offside if the keeper has no chance to save the shot taken or whatever the case is. That there's not that's not in the rules anywhere. So let's not make up a rule that don't exist. Let's just read the rule for what it is. And I just think the wording needs to maybe be cleaned up, because there's a line that says about deemed to have interfered. And there's another line that says makes any movement towards the ball. Now, I think it should be makes any movement, no, has to move based on where the ball was traveling. So even if you're moving to evade the ball, they need to clear that up. Are you moving to evade? Are you just moving to get your body to it or whatever to finish it? Because that needs to be cleared up. But yeah, like most rules, they have to leave something for interpretation, like these handball rules and stuff, because without definitively saying, like, you can't be so definitive to the point that there's no gray area, because we know that things happen in football in that gray area sometimes. There's not really a black or white answer to what happened. So I guess they have to word it that way for those reasons. But boy, it's the Man City, the Liverpool disallowed goal where Van Dijk hit it and Robertson duck. Then you have there were a few of them this week. There was Eze's first goal of the game that he scored. I think that should have been offside when you really look back at it. And I'm basing it off of what has been called offside so far, right? That was one of them. We're talking about the Liverpool one now. I know there was like another one too though that was very obvious as well. Same kind of situation. It will come to me. It will come to me. Barca dead tomorrow, him say. Bro, me they cancel it because I was late. The first game did already play. Ah, all right, cool. I feel away, my bro. Me get the win. Did you saw Liverpool game this week? So what's your thoughts on how they play? I didn't saw the game. Yeah, so look, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole game. So I can't give you the in-depth analysis I really want to, but I've read articles and I've watched the extended highlights of the game. And to me, brother, Liverpool, what I want people to do is go back to some of those wins they got last year, especially towards like, well, not even any part of the season. Just look back at some of the wins and the highlights from the games and the wins they had. Teams were pressuring them just the same. Allison and Kelleher, them making Rated save, Konate and Van Dijk blocking ball. I mean, they were in a lot of games where the other team could have got something out of the game. They weren't really dominating to get these points. And they just were able to do that over and over and over again until everybody else that was around them just didn't have the same consistency. But and I still give them the credit. They did a great season last season. But I don't know, man. It felt different to me than when City would run away with the league, just because like they didn't have this like thing of invincibility. Like they knew how to get the job done. They kept getting it done. But yeah, I don't remember them dominating. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm just making that up, but I don't think so. Like I feel like there was a lot of games you could point to where damn Liverpool were lucky today to get these 3 points. I just think they're not having as much luck. Even some of the chances they didn't convert in this last game. I just salt them salt. I mean, McAllister clutched the ball clean as possible. And like out of nowhere, a man just go into that space and get the ball cleared. You know, on any other day that ball go right in the goal, but not that day. And they've been having those days more frequently. And maybe it's just, that luck catching up with them. Because I think they had a lot of luck in a lot of games last year. Um, I think Murillo coming back to him normal self now. I think he was struggling with injuries when the season started. Wasn't him never looked the same. But him and Milenkovic lately have really and truly since Daesh got there, they've looked better. And that's normal. That's a typical thing for Daesh teams. Usually their centre backs going to look good because this man knows to coach the defensive part of the game really well. So yeah, Murillo though. I could see him, getting a move somewhere because he's a quality player, and that finish that he had was like a striker. I mean, the way him control it and finish it so fast, definitely I can see the technique is there. But Isak, elephant in the room, Alexander Isak. Yeah, it's just not working out for the guy. It's just not working out for the guy, and it's becoming literally what it's like for him to play in this jersey now. Like you see a 6.0, expected goals not too bad, 0.19. So maybe could have find one shot though. One shot in his 68 minutes. None on target, none blocked. He only had 14 touches in his 68 minutes. Lose the ball half the time. 0 for 1 on dribbles, 5 of 7 passes, 4 of 7 in the opposition half. Tried a cross, was unsuccessful. 1 clearance, 0 for 4 ground duels, 0 for 3 aerials, and he committed a foul and was not fouled not once. So Alexander Isak is literally a shell of himself at the moment, and Ekitike is there waiting, scored for France on international duty, and Isak still gets the nod over him in the first game. So who knows what this coach is up to, man? I think Ekitike at this point has to be the one you start. He's clearly sharper. Didn't have the best display this past game, but over the course of the season, he's been a lot better. And Isak is still, to me, not close to what they would have paid for him. He just has not shown up yet. I don't want to say that he's never gonna show up because he might turn it around. You never know. But boy, it's not looking good right now. I did say last season that the team was built for him, so I would wait for this season to see how good the coach. Okay. Yeah, man. But Sean Dyche, man, forward out in the athletic kit or the track suit. So our problems now for Liverpool, brother. Man, I plan for yell and sweat today. And the man go there and get the 3 points, man. Liverpool did have almost two expected goals, did create a big chance, but Liverpool of last season probably would have created 4 or 5 big chances in a game like this. They had 6 more shots total. Shots on target though, you see Forest with a 3 shot on target edge. Um, Liverpool did miss their one big chance. It's probably McAllister getting saved right at the mercy of the goal. Look at the entries though. A lot more for Liverpool, but just not doing enough. 88 entries and one big chance. Not a good ratio. 0.67 goals prevented. Allison in the negative. And I've been telling you what that means earlier. Both teams did have one error leading to a shot though. But yeah, Forest definitely improved under Sean Dyche, and the guy who left Paris, gone to West Ham, has improved them. So Nuno proving to be a good hire by West Ham, and Sean Dyche so far proving to be a very good hire for Nottingham Forest. So I don't think this would have won my match of the week, but definitely the most shocking result of the week was that 3-0 Forest over Liverpool. And the Liverpool fans right now don't know what to think. Arne Slot obviously won the league last year, so I don't know if they could get rid of him, but boy, it's not looking good. I mean, to have 6 losses from the first 12 games after winning the championship is kind of crazy, and I think that's some kind of record as well. Wolves and Crystal Palace was another game that played in this 10 o'clock time slot. It was full up with games during this time. But to be fair to Alex, Liverpool will be struggling at times, even though some players play good. Yeah, man, the coach not doing anything. Murillo are the boss. I like him skill set. Yeah, man, Murillo is kind of a throwback, like a Brazilian that actually play like in Brazilian, like not afraid to even use skill to defend. But yeah, he's a very solid player, man. I used to think he need to lose a little weight, but I think that's just his body type because he ain't slow. With all that heaviness that him look like him have, him not slow at all. Crystal Palace, new manager bounce was incoming for Wolves, they thought, but Rob Edwards wasn't able to get the job done. He fell 2-0 Crystal Palace at the Molyneux. Palace with goals courtesy of Daniel Munoz and Jeremy Pino, about 4 or 5 minutes apart, got them the win. And it was a deserved win, to be honest. Palace had more than their fair share of chances, and Wolves, did create a few little chances as well. But Henderson was up to task to make sure that those didn't score. And Wolves wasn't the worst showing, to be honest. I mean, the 2-0 is not great, but it was not the worst showing by them. I've definitely seen them play worse games. They even had the higher expected goals and they create 2 big chances, obviously missing both of those. But yeah, let's take a look at the lineup, or the first one that Rob Edwards came out with. So he went with a 5-3-2 or 3-5-2, depending on how you look at it, with Larson and Tolu up front. Tolu came off, but Larson was having a mirror and stayed on. Sometimes that happens. Andre Gomez and Munetsi as the midfielders. I think Arias came on in this game. Yep, he did. Mateta came off after 60 minutes. Probably just looking to keep him sharp and rested. He did play for France and played the second game of that window as well. So maybe, he was approaching the red line and they didn't want to overdo it. So he got the first 60 and came off. And Ketia did come close as well when he was on the pitch. So yeah, good utilization there. They have a Thursday match and then a Premier League match again. So, Glasner knows that they're in for a lot of running in their legs. Only concern really probably going into the midweek and next week fixtures is Chris Richards did have to sub off in the second half, and it looked like an injury. So need to see if that's short or long term. But yeah, Crystal Palace, quietly right there in the mix, back up into the top five, I believe, with this result. So Crystal Palace gets yet another victory, and Wolves still yet to get any victories in this season in the Premier League, at least. Then the final game of Saturday was one of my favorite games for the weekend, not necessarily because of how the game ended, but just based on how the game was played. It was such a back and forth basketball game. Honestly, no exaggeration, both teams could have probably scored six. I swear. I swear. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up Jagans. Yeah, man, every time. At times he be playing like an attacking midfielder. Yeah, man. The way how the man play football is like he's attacking, I swear. Even when he's defending, it's just he's gonna use skill as that's his thing. Manchester City and Newcastle. And I was kind of torn on this one. I went with a draw. I didn't think Newcastle would be able to win, but I was mighty close because most of you went for the draw or the Man City win. Most of you went for the Man City win, but in the end, that wasn't enough for Man City and Newcastle. It was a bit tough on City based on how many chances they would have created in the game to not get anything out of it. But at the end of the day, you got to convert. And apart from a few times Nick Pope making some good saves, most of these are just misses on the part of Man City. I mean, Foden literally got two simple chances for him, couldn't finish them. Haaland got a few as well. Um, but it just wasn't meant to be on the day for the team, man. They could not get that second goal, and they did take the lead. No, sorry, they did equalize very soon after Barnes scored his first through Ruben Diaz, and then literally the next attack, Newcastle score again, and that was a brace for Barnes, and he definitely needed that boost of confidence. I just think Barnes is such a confidence player, and he usually when he scores, he starts to score in bunches. So watch out to the rest of the league because I feel like this guy is just that way, man. When he scores some goals, he usually score more goals. And then he always ends up getting injured at some point when he's scoring the goals. So for his sake and his career, hopefully he can stay fit. But yeah, Harvey Barnes started the show, 2 goals. That Bruno was immense again. TR has proven to be a wicked signing. Tonali, Joelinton, Bruno. If you look up the stats on Newcastle wins, can bet you any money those three start the games that them win. And one of them probably missing when them don't win. Lewis Hall just back from injury and him out again injured. Sure. Livramento is a big return though. Very, very good player, man. Wicked player that. Wouldn't be surprised if him get a look in for the right back slot in the England squad. I'm gonna fight with Spence and Reese, I think good to go from him fit. But the other one, I think Tino and Spence are gonna fight it out. Unless somebody just emerge from now till World Cup, which is possible too. I don't see them out there yet, but I can fall out of nowhere still. But yeah, this game, I thought the first goal that Barnes scored, was it the first goal? No, it's not the first goal. Yes, I remember. Oh, the first goal. Okay, so the first goal was the one where it was a long check for offside. Super long check for offside. They were checking if Bruno Guimaraes who hit the ball onto the bar and then it come back out to Harvey Barnes and then finish it. They were trying to see if he was onside. He was deemed onside in the end, and it was so close. So close. Um And then the second goal, why can't I remember how the second goal go? Oh, me can't remember the second goal. It's amazing. See, me can't find. See, me can't find it real fast. I mean, literally can't remember how the goal going. Remember Diaz goal from a corner, kind of a scramble shot, ricochet back to him and finish it off through sharp leg. I remember the first one. Hold on, the people, man. I see I see how the second Harvey Barnes goal go. I can't remember. Like me, I draw a blank. Seriously. Okay, whipped in. Okay, so that was the second one. Okay, so may I mix up the goal them. So the second one is when them did have to check forever. And the first one, let me see. Oh yeah, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. The first one, bad. 1-2, Barnes, Gimares, back to Barnes. Yeah. Then that one, yeah. Donnarumma stuck in the goal. Yeah, so Man City, I was thinking, boy, here comes the charge. Man City gonna make this push and push us all the way, start win a bag of game over and over again and put the pressure on us, but they haven't really been able to sustain it. They did have that good run of form. You know, in the Premier League. They beat Liverpool, beat Bournemouth. They did have the loss to Aston Villa at Villa Park, and they did have the loss at St. James Park, two of the tougher grounds to play at. But other than that, they've been winning games, and it just goes to show. I think this Pep Guardiola team it's almost like he's trying to find a whole new thing to do. As you see the team shape, they really get this right because Shirky and Doku do not really play wide. It could be Nunes high and wide, it could be Foden high and wide, it could be Shirky high and wide, it could be Silva, it could be O'Reilly, it could be Doku high and wide. So they have a lot of fluidity, a lot of interchange in parts where I think what ends up happening is all that interchange and fluidity, it hurts them in the defensive transition. And they're putting a lot of pressure on Diaz, Gonzalez, and Vardiel to really hold it down in front of Donnarumma. And that just lends itself to them giving up opportunities, crosses that they have to clear, then they get corners to play against. And I just think he's gone so far to that fluidity and movement and interchanging that I think it's really throwing off some of their defensive abilities. And it was clear as day to see in this Newcastle game. They just could not stop anytime Newcastle got the ball in their own half from after any extended spell of possession. All they had to do was make one pass. That person, if they were allowed to turn, they literally could play towards any channel in the other third, in the other team's defensive third, and they would have had joy. They could even close their eyes and just kick it into the channel, and they would have had joy because it's just not enough numbers back, and you can't cover two runners when it's just two people, right? It's not possible. It's not possible because those guys don't really want to leave that central area so much. So once you pull wide, which they're going to be reluctant to go all the way out there with you, just play it down that channel. They ain't going to go out there. They can't. They have to kind of stay grounded to that middle as well because they don't have any support or help. So yeah, I just feel like he's gone this suicidal all-out attacking thing, and it's really hurting them because Diaz has lost a step. He ain't the Diaz he used to be, and well, I shouldn't say he lost a step, but Diaz isn't as dominant as he once was. That's fair to say. And Vardial, for me, is an attacking defender. I mean, he can defend, yes, but he's not a great defender. He's just very technical and can go forward as a defender. So yeah, I just don't think the personnel kind of match how he's trying to play. You don't have a Kyle Walker anymore to kind of save you when you do that crazy all-out attacking. So I just think he's gonna have to find a better balance, Pep, because he's so heavily weighted towards the fluidity, the movement, the attacking, that it's like he's just neglected defending. Like it's just, and you're not gonna have the ball 100% of the game. It ain't gonna happen. So yeah, I just think Pep trying to reinvent again when he probably don't even need to. Just do what Pep does. Do what you're used to. Yeah, man, of course you're glad. Then anybody who could have been near me glad them lose. Of course. Of course. Like would I tell him, I say no. Big up yourself, Conrad. I know Conrad happy this week because Madrid dropped points. On Arsenal. What's your thoughts on your team highline? Every point. Yeah. Look, Hansi Flick doing something similar with Barcelona. I mean, it's clear. And if a team really study up, you can pick that apart, bro. You just have to have the discipline. Big up, coach. Boy, they are going good enough with the little pick them where you give me, but you should have give you the rest, man. You might have win. Big up, Sherman. Big up. Yeah, man. Gunners for life. Yeah, man. Tap up his screen, man. Let them know. You better mind the Potter soup get kick off like we're going with Jamaica. I didn't watch any games last week. I even missed Barca game, most of it. DJ, busy holidays coming up, and they change manager. They mess with my schedule. Jaja, Osh Conrad, even miss Cleveland game. Boy, rough. Big up Azinho. Big up Azinho. Yeah, man. Big win. Big win. Big win. Wasn't speaking on just this season overall because they played like that last season. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it worked. It worked, but it just, you have to be willing to score five goals, 4 goals, because the other team probably going to score 3. Azinho said we would win an EPL this season. I wonder if you mean we could. Conrad did laugh. Yeah, man, but this game right here, man, was a mad game, man. Look, I'm biased, so if I was gonna vote in the poll tonight, I probably would go Arsenal Spurs just because not London Derby and would crush them, and I loved it. But just entertainment factor wise, to me, this was the most entertaining game. So if I had a vote, this would have been my match of the week right here. So I thought this Newcastle Man City game was just really entertaining. Back and forth, a lot of chances. I mean, but look, 8 big chances between the two teams. It was madness, man. Look at that. 2.5, almost 2.5 expected goals for both teams, 5 total in the game. And the storyline made sense based on how they play. City had more shots, more possession, more pass attempts. But when it came down to it, Newcastle was more clinical. 5 shots on target, it was 4 for City. And yeah, I can't even call them more clinical. They missed 4 big chances, but City missed all 3 of theirs. So there you go. There you go. You see the entries, but double for City, a little less than double for City. You see the goals prevented there. Not bad from Donnarumma. Really kept them in it. But Pope in the negative. He's not gonna like that. So what are they saying? Pope made an error for the goal. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I guess he tried to control it and it went back out to the guy, but it's a bit harsh. But yeah, Harvey Barnes, Brace, Diaz, the equalizer, but that joy didn't last very long. And, Pep did try to make some changes, made a triple sub. I thought Bob was really, really into the game, had some chances that he created and everything. Reinders was okay, but not quite as influential as Bob, but decent. And Savinho was wild. He didn't really have it yesterday. Or wait, 2 days ago. But yeah, this was a huge result for Newcastle, and they really needed it. They haven't been getting the results in the league, but Man City definitely to me, this didn't play well enough to win. And they would have been probably, if they had gotten a draw, I don't think anybody would cuss, but I don't think anybody's cussing Newcastle winning either because they did create a lot of opportunities as well. All right, Aston Villa over Leeds, and Leeds hasn't lost much at Ellen Road this season, but Morgan Rogers said, listen, I'm not get nothing today. And he took over in the second half, scoring early after a good substitution by Unai Emery at halftime, bringing in Marlin for Buendia, who had been playing really well so far in the last few weeks, but had a quiet first half. And then Matson, Fadinia, the normal change when they're losing a game, likes to bring on Matson for that attacking threat down that side. But Marlin immediately into the action, put in a good low cross, and Rogers beat his marker to flick it in to the back stick. And then the second goal by Rogers, what a beauty. The old side foot knuckleball technique. And I think the keeper was expecting it to curl towards him. It did some madness and went the other way in the air. And it was just superb technique, just over the wall and dipping back down. And it needed to be that way because it was right on the edge of the 18-yard box. But yeah, Morgan Rogers, really and truly been having a quiet season in terms of numbers in the Premier League. But, it was almost as if he was due for a big day. And just happy that I was able to have him in a few draft leagues and get some points. And I was thinking about getting rid of him, to be honest, but I saw the Leeds fixture and I said, okay, let me just wait till him play Leeds at least. And I was glad I did that because he got a brace and I could see him kicking on because Villa's form has gotten better. He has gotten more influential. And, if Villa's playing better, he'll get more chances to score. He'll be involved. As long as him foot not broke, I think Unai Emery plays him. So yeah, you don't have to worry about rotation with him. So yeah, he's a good asset. He's a good asset. Yeah, man, my heart is made of Teflon. Where is Odegaard? Well, Odegaard was in the stands, Zinho. He was not fit enough to make the bench. Talk about how Arsenal spent 5 years to build a team that will win the league for the next 5 years with ease. Well, that's the hope. That's the hope. I mean, I think the way how Arsenal has been built and the money we spent and all of that, I would even say there will be people out there that will say, one title ain't good enough for this team. So Arteta better know if him get over this hurdle and get a league, the next hurdle gonna be, hey, you have to win more than one with them player, boss. So it never ends. Yeah, man, come on, you Gooners. What will happen to City previous number goalkeeper in January? Do you think he will leave City? I would welcome him at Chelsea. Oh, you talk about Ortega? So Ortega not gone. He's still there? Hold on. There. Yeah, man, Ortega is still there to backside. So him the injured? Him a what, third string now? Do have no injury. The man no play since Club World Cup and him no met no bench since August. Wow. Well, brother, this man is the third string, man. But him probably alright. He might get paid. I'm not make bench. Trafford at the substitute keeper. Oh, them a beat Hansi. Him shouldn't beat him. Newcastle deserve that win. Yeah, agreed. All eyes on titles this season. Has to be. Always sympathy for Newcastle. I love their coach. I like their coach too, but one thing is, that I can't rate with how the man inconsistent, bro. Because they will have this result against City and then travel to, I don't know, Burnley next week and draw or even lose. And he always does that crap in the league, man. He's a good coach, though. Is this Pep's last season? I'm not sure, I mean, him just re-signed. So I don't think so. I don't think so. I just think the players not adjusting to the in-the-game situation because when no pressure on the ball, they do the same thing like pressure on the ball. So I can't blame the coach. Okay, yeah, that's true. Because obviously, if no pressure on the ball, you have to drop. But these guys get even more suicidal when there's no pressure on the ball. It's crazy. But yeah, Aston Villa, they got the job done. I think they had a much better second half. I think Leeds, they look back at this game and say, okay, when you're in the Premier League, guys, and you have such an upper hand in the game, You have to do something else with that upper hand. And they just could not find that second goal after Emi Martinez, I thought, gave them the first goal. I thought he was so weak in his attempt to get to the ball. I wanted a foul. But then after that, he played a blinder. He just put the Argentina jersey back on and started playing again. Um, and then it was the Morgan Rogers show in the second half, to be honest. I mean, he just basically had two really good finishes, and that was it. That was it. But Marlon did play his part off the bench as well. Bless me. All right, so moving right along. Moving right along, the next game and the second to last game of the week is Arsenal hosting Tottenham at the Emirates Stadium. And what a day it was for Eberechi Eze. This man got a hat-trick. I think it was the first hat-trick in this fixture by an Arsenal player for 50 years or something like that. Crazy. Leandro Trossard, even though he had one goal and I think an assist, and probably didn't get player of the match, he was definitely the assistant player of the match. This guy was on point in this game. And to be fair to Trossard, it's been about a good month of performances like these in the Premier League. He's popped up with the goals. He's been probably the most creative threat in terms of passes, playing some wicked passes to Calafiori and others into the channel, breaking lines, just not losing the ball, getting open and putting good crosses in, shooting on target. Yeah, man, he's been solid last month or so. And it's come right on time because there's been no Martinelli, no Odegaard, so Eze can't play out there. He's been playing central. So yeah, when Trossard needed to step up, he really did. And to be fair to him, he usually does that since he's been at Arsenal. Really good impact player, come off the bench, get a goal, and then the biggest games, he seems to be the one that scored the first goal. Like it's becoming like more than just a coincidence at this point. Like this guy really does turn up for the bigger game then. But yeah, great result. And not only was the result great, but the performance excellent. I mean, but apart from one bonehead play by Zubimendi, and that's why he got a 6.3. He lost the ball in the midfield, and then it was a brilliant goal by Richarlison from distance, and it was like a carbon copy of the goal we conceded in preseason to them, where Sarr picked up a loose pass. That time I think Richarlison fouled Skelly, but either way, right away off his line in the build-up, and they kicked over his head, and it was the same thing in this game right here. But Richarlison definitely had I thought, a higher degree of difficulty, even though he was closer because Raya was closer to his line. So yeah, he just executed it like perfectly. So you have to give him his credit. But by that time, they were already 3 down, and there was a little moment after that goal where it looked like, boy, Tottenham might even find a second, but once they didn't, and we kind of gained back momentum of the game, the last goal of the game was always going to be scored by us, and I was just so happy that Eze was the one that was able to get that hat trick. So the first goal by Trossard, extremely wicked pass by Mikel Merino, and I think this game right here, it was almost a blessing in disguise that Gyökeres wasn't playing, because the way that they had this defense set up with these 3 at the back, they literally didn't know what to do when Merino dropped into the half spaces. And Merino was so clever that he didn't always start his position so, deep in the, away from the back line. But what he would do was, once the play was developing and we developed an overload on one of the sides, it's almost like the trigger for him to come and go into that half pocket was the minute Paulina or Betancourt went wide to help. And then he would just drop into the space they vacated every time, whether it was him, Eze, even Rice, anybody that got involved from a deeper area, besides Merino, who would do it from a more attacking area and drop. It was clear that area right in front of those 3 center backs, the trigger was once we overload and one of those central midfielders who are both ball winners go to try to close down, that's when we overload that central space. Or not overload it, but we get runners into that space to kind of exploit it. And literally, the first, I'd say that the second and the third goal as a score in the game was a direct result of that tactic right there. get one or two of those central midfield guys stretched, and then literally go in that space in between them. Like you are the player splitting them in that field. And Eze did it, 3 times and got 3 goals out of it. They did ask Eza after the game, like which one was his favorite goal, and I have to agree with him. That second goal right after halftime, the way how he was able to take that ball and hit it with his left foot, basically, it was so great when he decided to hit that ball, because it was kind of like, he didn't give the keeper time to really like read when he was going to shoot or anything like that. It was just, and then he struck it so cleanly with the right amount of curl to get it inside the post. It was just a brilliant strike with his weaker foot too. And to have that technique so mastered with your weak foot, he's really a technician, man. Really strike the ball clean. And then the third goal was brilliant too, because that control opening up his body just sat down the defender. Then he had the composure to just curl it around the keeper when many would have probably went for the blast there. He just kept his head and just placed it beautifully around the keeper. So Eza, I want to say even at halftime of this game, talking about football with some of my peers, and one of my friends who's an Arsenal fan mentioned, he said, Eza really hasn't shown up in a game yet, like big time, since he been here, like, really dominate a game. And I was saying to him, well, to be fair to Eza, right? I don't think that Eza is the type of player that's going to dominate a game for 90 minutes. Now, what Eza will give you is 4 or 5 brilliant moments in one game. But I don't think he's the type to just constantly get on the ball and, but he just has a knack and a timing of when to appear. And that was under full display in this performance today. And even when he said that at halftime, I said to him, but think about it. Didn't Eza give us what we want? He had that scoop pass to Rice in the first couple of minutes that really should have been a goal, right? An assist for him. And he had the first goal or the second goal of the game. So those 2 moments really should have given us 2 goals. And I said to him, I said, listen, if he can do what he's been doing and just provide more of those little moments, then he would be doing what we bought him for. But I think the big thing, one of the big talking points, I think, right now is what the heck happens when these players come back. So Odegaard wasn't on the bench. Madueke did come on in this one. Martinelli was on the bench but didn't play. Gyökeres didn't make the bench. Havertz didn't make the bench. Jesus didn't make the bench, and Magalhaes, of course, out. Didn't make the bench either. But yeah, when Martin gets back, like, how can you move Eze out of that role right now? Because Trossard is playing well. Martinelli was playing excellent before he had this last little injury, right? And Saka and Madueke will probably marshal on the right. So where does Odegaard play? He doesn't start. He can't, because you cannot take Eza off the pitch. I think the one thing was why maybe Eza don't have the pressing and organize the press as much. But even this game, you could see Eza getting more and more comfortable in our defensive structure and our defensive approach. He was more influential, tracking down players. 1 foot race I remember he had with Kudus. Man just run past Kudus and get the ball. So like he's even growing in stature in the parts of the game that I thought he would struggle to play under Arteta. Because Arteta don't like having passengers out off the ball. Everybody has to put in the work. I'm a Chelsea fan, but Arteta has gotten this season in the bag. I'd suggest taking Champions League and our local titles. Cut it is there for the taking. I rate Arteta as a manager. Yeah, F. Well, most of the Arsenal fans don't rate him. I wouldn't say most, but I'd say it's about split. Half don't rate him and half rate him. Or maybe even less than half rate him. I think some are kind of not indifferent, but some are kind of like still saying, listen, for me, he's at a tier of coaching that he can't surpass until he win the league. So we'll see how people think if he does get over the line. Imagine being chased by a team and turn around signing for the competition and slaughter them with a hat-trick. Yo, rough. Enjoy your time at the top. London will be blue soon. All right, be supporter. These words will be immortalized and we will revisit it. Richardson is the first player to make a goalkeeper think he could actually fly. Is Declan okay? He looked tired how much? Yo, I have said this about Declan Rice for like since he's ever come to Arsenal because obviously when a player go to your team, you're watching even more intently. And to me, he always look like him boss. Look for every game the man play. First two running make, breathing heavy. But the thing with Declan, you can see that in the slow-mo or in the replay or whatever, and then when him get round the ball again or when him a chase a man again, it's like him never tired before. So I just think that's how the man look here, man, when him a play. Because him always, like when he first came, I was wondering if something was wrong with him because him always looked tired. But now that I've seen him play so many games, I'm realizing like that's just how the man look. Even for England the other day, I said to the coach, take him off. As soon as me said that, who me say run down ball, get it, set up a goal. I say, yo, this guy I just saw the man look when him a player, man. Aston Villa find a farm and I go on with themselves, yeah. People said it couldn't work with no wingers and no this and no that. But Emery say, oh, when you stop on the knives, I'm the coach here. Michael Oliver needs to be banned from the league. Man tried hard to sell the Spurs game. Couldn't do nothing about it. Zubimendi for protecting ball a little more in the midfield. Yeah. And to be honest, he doesn't really lose the ball that much. Ever. I think no way, Apache. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Zubimendi not fi hold no bench. No, sir. No, sir. The man play good other than that one play in the game, Yeah, man. I disagree totally with this, Apache. No way. Esa is 1-to-1 with Odegaard. Just rotate them. Odegaard doesn't stay fit. Yeah, well, he had a few seasons where he stayed fit the whole time. So it's not like he can't, but he's just been terribly unlucky this year. Until he wins some cups, him not gonna get the ratings. Yeah, I agree, Apache. That's how him play, but him fit. Yeah, man. I saw the man look always. Rice look like him tired, brother. I don't know where him get that style there from. Oh, I'm more big up as well to the Arsenal team. I can't even big up the defense this time. You know why? They never have to do nothing. Literally, the front four and the two midfielder them control the game. Timber was in. I don't know how did Timber get a 6.5 in this game. What did he do wrong? He must miss a bit. Oh, he missed the easiest header in the world from a corner. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. But that must be what pulled down him rating because the man was great. Other than that, he had an assist, didn't he? Yeah, had an assist. He really should have scored that header though. I mean, the ball hit him like in the face and it brushed off him shoulder and couldn't get it right. But it was a free header on the edge of the 6-yard box at the back post from a Declan corner, of course. He really should have scored that. But he was good again, man. So good in possession, out of possession. So good linking up and combining with Saka on that right hand side. Just a solid player, man. Saliba, Nkapie looked good at centre back as well. Again, wasn't really tested that much, but just so athletic back there. It's good to see like two defenders in the back line that really can close you down if they have to chase you. Because Nkapie have some good closing speed. And Calafiori, him and Timber have probably been the most solid players around the back overall. If Big Gabby was around, we'd have to include him too. But yeah, man, the right and left back, they're getting some really good play out of them. And it's tough because Skelly had such a great season last season. And I don't think you could find an Arsenal fan that's saying, yo, put Skelly back in for Calafiori, It's just, if they're saying that, they're not watching the games. Imagine Arteta wins everything except the EPL. Yo, that would have burned me. Declan versus Caicedo Sunday. Let's see what happens. Well, Caicedo did get the bonus of not playing this game, which helps. But let's see. And I doubt Declan Rice won't play in the Bayern game. So yeah, he'll have more in the tank going into the game than Caicedo. But yeah, man, Arsenal. That to me, this was the best performance of the season by Arsenal, and I just hate that it got blemish with that one little play that Zubimendi give away. But talk about just dominating. You know what I mean? It was a dominating performance. There's no other way to say it. Look at the expected goals, 0.07. Like they didn't do nothing, they didn't have anything, they couldn't do anything. How many shots them take? 3 shots all game. First shot coming in the 55th minute from the goal. 64, Xavi Simons was saved, and Xavi Simons took one more that went over or went close on the left. Literally 3 shots in the entire game. Arsenal shots from the 3rd minute, 4th minute, 9th minute, 18, 30, 33. I mean, there was no rest for them all game. Just put it on them wickedly. 3 big chances to none, 17-3 in the shots. Yeah, man, the stats just show the story perfectly. 8-2 shots on target. So it was just domination, man. And Thomas Frank apologized to his fan base for the performance and everything, but really and truly, he needs to look inward because I mean, I get it. Arsenal right now is a better team than Tottenham, but I mean, the amount of respect they showed us, it was like borderline ridiculous, Like they just sat back off of us. They never really ever tried to press us in any way. They let us play, let us have space. Even when we got into the middle third, I thought it was too relaxed. They were just giving us time on the ball and everything. So I just think the approach was all wrong, and they needed to really show a bit more guts and go for it a bit more if they're going to do something in the game. And they just never had a willingness to do it, And Arsenal were just sharp. We just were sharp on the day. Like I said, this is the best performance that I can remember this season so far in the Premier League. I don't know if everybody agree with that, but I mean, there wasn't really anything I can look at and say, boy, we didn't do that well or we didn't do this well. Like I said, apart from the one play by Zubimendi, and other than that, I thought Zubimendi was good, just like everybody else. But it was a costly play. We conceded from it, and that's the only thing that just made me say, damn, it was almost the perfect day. But Eza, just happy for you, my boy. 3 goals. I think the fans already loved you, but I think that will just make it approach a even different status now to get a hat-trick in the North London derby. That's not something that happened every day. It's 50 years ago it happened before. So, yeah, man, he does endear himself even more to the faithful. And I think it's a big, the proverbial monkey off the back, and he can really express himself and play free now. So yeah, I think watch out to the league. Eze is another player that can get streaky, and he just looks so much more comfortable from one time in the Arsenal setup, and you can see that the extra reps with the players and the extra reps with the coach and with the assistants and everybody kind of talking to him and showing him the ropes. You can see that it's translating to how he's playing because he just looks so much more comfortable in the team right now. Zubi make Liverpool beat with two. Apache, I think you need to reevaluate your Zubimendi hit. Okay? Just reevaluate it. Because what was it specifically in the Liverpool game? Was it something specific that he did? Is it because he fouled the man for the free kick? Is that what you're upset about? Because why? You mark hard, brother. The man play. I think how much game he play for Arsenal so far? Let me look upon the games he play so far. So I'm gone 15 games so far. Look where the man rating is average. 7.19. So you pick out this game we just play when we get a 6.3 and the Liverpool game when we get 6.4. Other than that, a beer 6.8 or higher, beer 7s and above. Boy, you wicked, brother. But hey, your opinion, Apache, I'm not kill you. But I just feel like you need to reevaluate it, brother. Because over the course of 38, I can guarantee you there won't be more than one more game maybe where you can say, yo, Azubi fault, say we do this. No. This guy is so consistent, it's not even funny, my boy. This guy just does his job most of the time. I mean, he had that one mistake, and I will say that like the thing that I see that I don't love about his game is that some of the time him can just let the play go. Like you don't, it's okay if you were on the wrong side. Like trust that you have a defense behind you, you know? But you don't have to pull down the man automatically because you get beaten. Other than that, though, I'm not seeing no fault with the man game, brother. Consistently good, you know? But as I say, Apache, your opinion, I'm not beat your feet. But just let you know why me think it wrong. That's all. But people, we're not talking about the Arsenal game no more. 4-1, brilliant game. I think the best game of the season for the Gunners. Don't know if you guys agree. And I'm looking forward, as I said earlier, to seeing what the poll results say, which game they thought was the best of the week. All right, now this game didn't make the cut to win the poll this week, but this was one of my favorite games of the week because anytime Manchester United and their fans can have a little suffering, we are here for it. This one took place at Old Trafford, and boy, it was not the result that most Man U fans were thinking would happen on this Monday evening. After seeing all the teams play and seeing your city rivals drop points, you're seeing Liverpool get 3-0 from Nottingham Forest at Anfield. You know, other than Arsenal winning, you know, this was a good week for Man U. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, I didn't like Chelsea winning either. But for most part, a lot of these teams lost around them, and they easily could have made a nice little move up the table if they could have got this win. And things were looking good for them early in the game when, you know, one of the more ridiculous things you will see in the damn Premier League this season. Idrissa Gana Gueye gets into a shouting match with Michael Keane because he played a pass to him in the box. He thought Keane wasn't alert enough to come and get the pass. They end up losing the ball and you know they don't concede a goal, but it causes problems. So you know Idrissa speaks his mind, Keane speaks his. It escalates. I think Keane did the initial push. And then literally, I didn't see it in real time, so I thought it was harsh from the referee. It looked like he just kind of mushed him in the face or something, but he literally slapped the man in his face. Slapped the man in his face. And to make it even more hilarious, you know, people, when the referee sent off Idrissa Gana Gueye, Michael Keane clapped and I run him. I say, yo, come on for the field, you idiot. Yo. So yeah, I was beating the ref at first and saying, yo, that harsh man. The man have a little disagreement and this and that. But brother, when I see the replay, I see the slap, I say, yo, it's a real slap. So people, what we want to know? That couldn't have just been from that, right? Like there must have been from training this week or something. Because how the man could have get upset to the point where the two of them want to fight. Like, something must have gone in a training between them, brother. I tell you. Something must did go on, brother. Something must go on. Like the man, me no know. Something go on. Still I get used to the speed of the EPL, getting better each game. Yeah, I think that's where he gets into trouble. Sometimes like him kind of misread the pace of the other player. So like him take an angle where him think him can cut them off and him don't quite take the right angle. You know? Where say from the match start. So me never see the build up to the red card, you know, cause I'll be honest, I never turn the game on until right when Seamus Coleman come off. Right when see Coleman come off and O'Brien come on is when I turn it on. So literally, as I turn it on, I see this red card happen. I said, blow, what is? Actually, I do remember DJ Gigs, and the only reason I remember is because the last time it happened, I think the last time it happened, I could be wrong, but the last time I saw it was Ricardo Gardner, not Ricardo Gardner, sorry, baby, I'm not this you. Ricardo Fuller, Wiley Boo. The same kind of thing. The man box him captain. The man, him and him captain getting a fight on the field, and him box the captain, and then gets sent off feet. Yeah, man. As a matter of fact, in that game, I want to say both players got sent off for Stoke. But I know for sure Fuller got the red card. But I can't remember if it's the two of them or just Fuller. But yeah, that's the last time I saw something like that. I don't know if it has happened since in the Premier League or anything or any other league, but the last one I remember, my father reminded me, was Fuller getting into it with his captain. I think the captain was Trying to remember who the captain would have been. I don't remember. I don't remember who his captain was, but yeah, man, him get a red card. Him get a red card for that, bro. Hilarious. Hilarious, brother. Hilarious. But yeah, it happened already. It happened before. And of course, a blowout yard man do it. Yeah, man, he did do it, man. Back in them Stoke days. Yeah, man, Everton drop a hot one love on them head top, man. Trust me. A ratted goal, the boy, Dewsbury scored two, and he's with him weaker foot. I'm sure he left foot him use. The man crack it off of the right foot. But today, we can't even big up, we can't big up Dewsbury Hall. It was a wicked goal. But brother, really who need to get big up is this brother. And it seemed like once a season, him give one of them performances where him literally win them the game. The man prevent almost 2 goals by himself, 6 saves, and a couple of them were some word. Yo, there was a header save from Xerxes in the second half. Yo, I know me don't know the man stretch and reach it and push it around the post. Him never have no business saving that ball. The one good thing Xerxes do for the game, that header. And the man just dig it out. So yo, that was ridiculous. So yeah, Pickford, he deserve a lot of credit for this win. Trust me. Yo, people, I don't know what more are going on. But man, them dash more. Man, them dash from a screen star. But yeah, this game, really and truly, Pickford deserved the title, title for best player. And to be fair to Keane, after him whole thing with Idris Agana again and that foolishness, him play wicked for the rest of the game. From one of the best games Keane play, I swear. But yeah, that's a big clean sheet at Old Trafford, and I think today Cunha was missed. That's for sure. They really could have used his, craft and guile. I think Mbuemo suffered the most for Cunha not being around. It just seemed like he wasn't getting the same effective link-up play with Diallo in the first half as when Cunha played that role. Mount, it was a little bit better once Mount came on and Diallo went back to right wing back, but um, it was just one of those days, man. It just seemed like Manu could have played another 30 minutes and Pickford would have found a way to save the ball them every time. Yeah, my brethren did say it, and I was saying, boy, it don't look like them can hold out, brother. Manu gonna find a goal some kind of way. And the man said, nah, bro. It's just I can see it. Pickford is that Pickford day. Him have one or two of these a season, and this is one of them. And he was so right, bro. Like Pickford just was possessed. He wasn't gonna get scored on today. I mean, Manu didn't play horribly. They pushed. They created good chances. Had 3 big chances. They had the bulk of the expected goals. Way more shots. The shots on target needs to be higher. That is for sure. Only 6 out of 25 is not good at all. But the entries they dominated there. I mean, all the statistical analysis that you could find, they were the ones. But the goalkeepers were the difference. Negative in the goals prevented for Lamens, almost a full 2 goals prevented by Jordan Pickford. So that was the difference. And Pickford, showing why he's been England's goalkeeper now for quite a few major tournaments in a row, and looking like it's going to be him again next season, unless, Dean Henderson, Pope, one of these keepers just have a blinder going into the end of this season. It's going to be really hard to displace Pickford and his experience at this point in the position, and his form has been good as well. So big win for them at Old Trafford. David Moyes, I'm sure, felt a bit sweeter winning that one after being a coach there for some years. Yeah, that was a really good goal by Dewsbury Hall for sure. Bruno looked so frustrated with the whole game, give up after the second half start. Yeah, look, Bruno does have that body language, man. Like just petulant, look like him dog just dead or something. Him just have this look like, he just look sad. He must have a sad look on his face a lot of the time. All right, so let's get away from SofaScore now. Thanks for all the statistical background and analysis work. to kind of tie in with what I'm saying about the games. Now we're going to just take a look at the Premier League table before we show you the table for the predictions of the week. All right, so let's pull up the Premier League table. We're going to look at that on the PL website. I always tell you, I just love how the just think it looks a lot more user friendly, you know. So work off of that with this, and I like how it gives you the form as well. So Wolves, very easy to see what they're doing. 5 losses on the chart. I think that might even be 6, but they're not showing the 6th one, and they're still on 2 points, 2 draws, 10 losses. I can't remember. Been watching the Premier League a long time. I can't remember a worse start than this after 12 games. I'll research and see if it is the worst, but boy, whoever did worse than this, trust me, that would take some doing. I mean, even Burnley and Leeds have now gained a 8 and 9 point gap on last place Wolves, and it's not looking good for them. You know, that's type of territory that you would see when a team has been docked points for doing something illegal or something. But yeah, there's no point dock in there. They just have 2 points. It's rough. You see Burnley on 10 points in 19th. They have lost 3 on the bounce. Also, Leeds down to 18th now with their 3rd loss in a row. So Leeds and Burnley as 2 teams that got promoted and looked like they were doing decent enough to stay out of this zone. Burnley has been there for a few weeks, and now Leeds joins them. West Ham finally get out of this relegation zone. They've been there for a few weeks now, a lot of weeks actually, and they were able to get out by virtue of 2 wins and a draw in their last 3 under their new manager Nuno Espirito, and he has gotten them up to 11 points, and they are only above Leeds by virtue of better goal difference at -10. Then we have Nottingham Forest, also been struggling this season to regain the form that they showed all of last season for the most part. They now have 7 points from their last 9 with 2 wins on the bounce. They are up to 12 points now and in 16th position. Can't rest though. They are still very, very close to that relegation zone. Fulham needed a win. They had been wobbling a bit. 2 losses, a win, a loss again, then a win this time to get to 14 points. They're up to 15th place now in the table. Newcastle, talk about needing a win. They only got their 2nd win in their last 5, but they now are on 15 points and looking to start that ascent up the table. They can look at teams like Aston Villa for inspiration, coming from where they're coming from to where they are now. Brentford on 16 points. They lost this game, but I thought they played a good match. Could have easily tied it up in the end, but Verbruggen made the big save to keep the 3 points for Brighton's favor. But Brentford, I think under their new manager, should be really proud of being in 13th spot after 12 games on 16 points. Then we have Liverpool, definitely the surprise at the bottom half, I think. They are all the way down to 12 points, and 12th position. They are on 18 points. And after they had started out 5 wins from 5, if you had told me after the next 7 games they would be in the bottom half of the table, I would ask you to throw away whatever you just smoked because it's not good for you. But yeah, that's what has happened. It's crazy. They're tied on points with Everton, and who would have thought it? Everton have a better goal difference than Liverpool. So Everton is in 11th and they are in 12th. So that's crazy. Man United, after losing to Everton, still keep them behind them by virtue of scoring more goals. They both have a 0 goal difference and are on 18 points. But Man United with 19 goals scored, Everton only 13 so far. Spurs have a +6 goal difference. They're on 18 points. So there's 4 teams on 18 points from 9th to 12th, with Liverpool being the worst of the lot due to the worst goal difference out of all those teams. Bournemouth, -1 goal difference now, so they have been wobbling a lot of late. They are 19 points, still in the top half, but just barely. They are in 8th position. Then we have Sunderland after dropping, after 2 draws in a row, after 2 very good wins, now finally getting that loss. They are in 7th position, but did take a drop. They were in the top 4. Now they dropped down to 7th and 19 points with a +3 goal difference. Brighton, very much the same as Sunderland, 19 points, +3 goal difference, but they have scored more goals, and that's why they're in 6th position right now after their win over Brentford on the weekend. And then we have Crystal Palace up to 5th position again. They have been up and down in the top 4, top 5 area. but they did get a win this time, which put them right back to 5th position, 1 point behind 4th place Aston Villa, who have gone on a tear. They have 12 from their last 15, and that has gotten them all the way up into that final Champions League slot on 21 points. Then we have Manchester City on 22 points after their loss to Newcastle. Really, we're looking to lessen that gap to Arsenal, but they have increased that now to 7 points, Arsenal, due to their win over Spurs. And then Chelsea face Arsenal at Stamford Bridge next week and can cut their 6-point lead to 3 if they're able to topple the Gunners at the bridge. They're on 23 points plus 12 goal difference, but Arsenal sitting the pace currently. What's that? 13 from their previous 15 points available to them, and that has them on 29 points now with a plus 18 goal difference. Now joint top scorer in the league, as well as the stingiest defense. That's always a recipe for success. So that is the Premier League table as it stands. And now let's get to the more important table. No, just kidding. Let's get to a table that is important as well. I won't say it's more important, but let's let you guys know how we did this week. So again, respect to all the people them that participated. See this madman Gunners boss now dropping predictions on the review show. Yo, don't worry, man. Don't rush the thing. Don't rush the thing. DJ Shatta Hennessy. Forward Friday. Forward Friday. And drop your score predictions for all of the game them. And see if you can win the title. Or you will be the damn donkey again. Wolves not getting relegated every year. Every year, me think that, but this might be the damn year, to be honest, 2 very tough games, Bayern and Chelsea. That is true. All right, so I have everything loaded up, so let me find it. All right, so first and foremost, people, let us reveal the winners of the. Let's reveal the winners of the week, or the standings for the prediction table, and it goes a little something like this. So in first position, and if you're watching on the portrait mode, I'll just have to read it off to you because I don't think it will really show properly. But basically, Game Birds was tied for 4th with NDH 5 and 5, 2 games correct, or 2 games predicted perfectly. Jagarns was 3rd spot this week, 5 and 5 as well, but he had 3 games correct. Pristine finishing 2nd, just missing out on the title this week, 6 and 4 with 2 games correct. And of course, it only makes sense that Jason Gooner wins some of these weeks because I'm the damn expert, ain't I? So Jason Gooner this week, 6 and 4 with 4 correct games. I was able to get the Burnley Chelsea 2-0 game perfectly, the 2-1 Brighton win, the 2-0 Palace over Wolves, and the 2-1 Aston Villa over Leeds. And to be honest, this is the first week that I've ever done this, that every single person that played got at least 1 game score correct perfectly. So yeah, I don't know what everyone was doing this week, but you guys keep it up. Very, very good. Yeah, so Jason Gooner, a round of applause. And yeah, that is how that one went this week for me. Now, moving right along, people, to the donkey of the week. And again, for those watching in the portrait mode, I don't know if it will show just right, but I will definitely be telling you who it is. And let's just see the drum roll, please. And the donkey of the week, sad to say, is a great friend to the program. Hot chili. So sad to say it was you. You went 3 and 7, and so did Joseph Brown. But Joseph Brown got the tiebreaker because he had 3 games correct. Hot chili only had 2. So one of you had to beat, and I hate to say it, but it's you, Hot chili, this week. And Chile, whenever Man City loses, it seems like you always have a chance to win this because you always pick City to win. So that's just one game that you lost there. But yeah, I just think you had some, you went for the Brighton-Brentford draw, which could have easily been, but the penalty was saved. 1-1 Fulham-Sunderland could have easily been that game as well. Most of us got the Liverpool game wrong, so no real qualms there. Most of us got the City game wrong as well. You did go for the Leeds over Aston Villa, which was kind of going for it there, and most of us got the Man U Everton game. I think all of us did except for Gamebird. So yeah, and I think another person went for Everton too. But yeah, so actually, sorry, my brethren, it never worked out for you this week, but you don't know. I know that you will be back to redeem yourself next week and the weeks after that as well. So big up yourself, same way, my G. It don't always have to end that way for you. Trust me. We have seen many more weeks of you doing much better than that. So don't feel no way. All right, people. The next thing I want to do before we get out of the building, because we're almost done with the show, is I did miss a week, so you guys didn't really see what was going on with my fantasy last week. And it's honestly been nothing to really write home about. So yeah, it's not good. And I had a disaster this week, people. I did the unthinkable for a fantasy player. I literally did not set up my damn team. I knew I had the deadline the night before. I did the preview show, and my plan was always after the show to just finish up my lineup. And I don't know, man. I was so tired on Friday night that when the show was over, I don't think I was up for 20 more minutes after that. I just went to bed. I just never woke up in time to do it. So, yeah, this is somehow I got 37 points. I don't know how. I think because I had Munoz in my team, maybe that was the saving grace. But I mean, first of all, I wouldn't have had Gabriel in my team anymore. There's so much money just wasted. I know he's out. And to be totally honest, I was probably gonna spend that Gabriel money on a Chelsea defender. So it probably would have been Cucurella, I think, who I would have put in the team. Either Cucurella or Chalaba, one of them. And I was strongly considering doing the free hit as well, because I was thinking that I was going to get I was going to load up on Chelsea's defense. So I was going to get like Chalaba and Cucurella, which would have been nice because they had the clean sheet this week. And I was going to keep João Pedro because I figured his Leeds, they'll score goals. Either that or I was going to get Pedro Neto as well in the free hit. So look, it doesn't really matter what I was going to do. I never did any of it. So this is what I had to work with this week. And I must say, like, thank the Lord for Munoz scoring and getting man of the match, because other than that, this really could have been the worst week ever. But some kind of way, I'm still first in every league except for the iSports Premier League one. And, this one I know I have a little bit of a mountain to climb, and people are catching up to me for this third spot. But look, this won't happen again. So, just glad that we got through without it really, derailing what's going on so far this season. But I'm sure that people must have caught up to me in these leagues. All right, so I have a 30-point lead in this one, which was way more before. Let's see. This one, I still have a decent enough lead against Nick, because Nick never do not neither. Mas. Ooh, yeah. So Mas has some decent players in here. See the waffle done there. So yeah, I need to shape up. Vitali is the only one really came and made a run for me this week. So I only have a 6-point lead there, and Sports DTM still have a decent enough lead. Steven Walker went crazy this week, 73. Yeah, so that is how that went. Now, I do play the draft version of fantasy as well. So let me show you guys how that one went. All right, so here we have it. And of course, I lost this game, and I'm so tired of this one. This is Masses League. And in this league, right, it's literally down to who you're playing that week. So almost every week, if I had played any other player, I would win. So of course, Havertz a laugh. The man get 53 this week. Me get 46. I would have beat everybody except for them two people. And of course, why I couldn't play one of them people this week. So I knew I was messed up though, because I know he he had NDI and Tarkowski left, and of course they kept the clean sheet. So that effed away my chances right there. Because going into this game, I knew I was going to have 46 to end it off, and I didn't have nobody else left to play. So yeah, I mean Trossard and Rice held it down for me. Evan Nielsen picked up this week, did good, did well. But yeah, I needed like a Cucurella goal, or I needed Gusto to start too, and then I would have gotten 12 right there, and would have been tied basically. So yeah, it wasn't meant to be in this one, and I'm getting sick of this league, and that's why when I found out that it was a matchup league, I didn't want to just like back out of it because I told Massa I would do it, but telling you, man, this luck of the draw bullshit. Like I have 6 losses in this league, and look at the points. Look at the actual points. If this was just a straight up points league, I would be leading the league. Literally, I would be in second. This guy have me by 11 points. Glock 14 to score Kings. This guy. So like the way me see me there in a second place, yeah, man. Lucky them all Jonathan. Jonathan barely get points, man. But the man just get good matchups every week. 9 wins. Some bullshit, man. Anyway, that's my little rant about that. But me not think it fair, brother. Me not think it fair, none at all. And then I really give you a true representation of how well you're doing, because it just depends on who you fucking play. All right, Crystal Ball FC making a move. I was way down this tail, people. And now I'm there. Wow. 23 points behind. That is nothing in fantasy. And yeah, this week I outscored my damn all 3 of my draft teams outscored my fantasy team. So something did wrong. I just never changed my team. So it messed me up. True fair, then all 3 of my draft team them with a big dirty 0. But you see the midfield points. Enzo, Rogers, Minte, Marino, Sarr, everybody get at least an extra point. And I had good defense as well. Richards and Timber with the clean sheet. Well, actually, Timber with the assist, no clean sheet. Zubimendi never lose the ball. Timber get whole heap more again. But 62 points, can't be vexed with that. I think that was the highest points of this week. Yeah, 62. And then we have Yakins. In this league, I got 51. Not doing so great in this one, but I was way down in 7-6 about 2-3 weeks ago. So I take my time move up that table there as well. But this brother Craig, man, FC United, big up anywhere there. This man going crazy so far in this, but him soon buck him to me. I tell you that. Petrovic, should I start Roos over him? This one could I get more points? Shirky, Evan Nielsen sitting on my bench. Don't know why I went with the double defenders for City in the Newcastle game. Like, when I saw that I started this team, I'm thinking, what the heck was I thinking? Why wouldn't I go with the attackers in this sense, knowing that them going St. James Park? So I don't know what I was thinking there. That's a bad choice. But Rogers again, Munoz in this one as well. So that gave me the bulk of my points. And yeah, decent showing in the draft leagues, but the fantasy, not so good, people. Not so good. But yeah, that's about it, people. Great show as usual. Thanks so much for you all that turned up and stuck around and did their thing. Jagger and saying get 50 points. Yeah, well, you beat me this week, but just know say me never even set my team. So you can't really take the winnings from me this week. I just me is an idiot. I forgot to rewatch this video. Yeah, man, watch it back, man. Watch it back. No, I never do no Champions League prediction because I'm gonna be honest. You see this week, yeah? Tomorrow I'm gonna go busy, so I'm not go there. Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, I have a whole heap of things to do. We get set up for that. I never even tell the people them, but I get in a accident about 2 weeks ago, and it was barely any damage like visibly to the car, but the impact mess up some of my motor stuff and some things underneath the the guts of the car, and basically them say the damage and to fix the damage outweigh the value of the car. And I've had that car now about 10 years, so it probably was time for a new vehicle, but it just accelerated. Now I have to get a new vehicle. So I try to sort all of that out Wednesday because I know Thursday or Thanksgiving, I can't do it then. And then Friday, I have to work again. And then weekend, busy again with football and this and that and the third. So I really just not have no time besides Wednesday, which kind of cut in on my Champions League time when I normally do because trust me, if me never have them things that go on Wednesday and know me I live stream the damn Bayern match, but it does not go work. So me never really made fair enough score prediction and then can't forward and actually do the game them. That's why I'm never really getting it today, to be honest. But yeah, man, you never miss nothing, Skull. You never miss nothing as far as predictions go. Me just know so I'm not gonna have the time for really focusing on the European this week. So me just love it alone, you know. But Skull said Barca 2-1 and Arsenal 2-1. All right. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Why? My team now go down in a prediction, brother. I just want to see the game them. Friday, we will return EPL preview show, and we definitely will have a segment in there where we talk about the Champions League and other Europe results as well. But yeah, big up on yourselves, people. Thanks so much for tuning in. I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And come on, you Gooners.